think we can start lah.
Okay, so I'll start off with NJC. Okay, can you all turn if you have your downloaded the question paper, you may want to open up the NJC question paper and also the solution. Then let's take a look at it. Okay, from the poll itself, although more people voted for question 4, but I think it's just 1% more or less, or it's either 2 or 1. So just go in sequence so that we don't have to jump between questions. I will go through question 2, 4, 6. Okay, I'll go through 2, 4, and 6. These are the questions that kind of being highlighted lah. Okay, let me take a look at question 3. Question 3 is just a decision table. Okay, Ken, let's start with question 2. Now, if you take a look at question 2, you realize that it's very descriptive. Okay, and this is similar to A-level 2022, the question on the leaf. And then in A-level question 2023, there's a question about the cooking appliance. Okay, so it is descriptive in saying, giving steps like turn on, turn off, press a button, this and that, the kind of thing. So, so this is not unfamiliar. So this one came up before. So NJC, this question 2 model after that. Okay, model after that. Okay, so you may want to, when you take a look at question 2, you may want to refer to the A-level question, namely 2022 and 2023. Okay, let's go to the specific of this question. Part A. Part A is about the code of conduct. Code of conduct. Okay, so in this particular questions, right, about the action, what did he didn't do, and those kind of thing, and then what is kind of didn't align to the required code of conduct. I think you can refer to the solution itself. It's very elaborate, and then there are many points. So you can just pick the 2 parts to it. The first part, no, the engineer didn't uphold what state specifically that, and then second point, the other mark is about which code of conduct that he didn't follow. Okay, so the 2 must tally. The 2 must tally. I give you maybe not the code of conduct kind of example. Some people say, oh, we need to use antivirus software, but antivirus software to protect what? To protect this denial of service. Even if use of antivirus software is correct, but antivirus software doesn't protect on denial of service, so it doesn't tally, So be careful with that. Your second point supporting the first one must tally. Okay, so be very careful with that. Otherwise, if you're lucky if you get just 1 mark. Okay,
Mr. Tan, were you meant to share screen with them?
Oh yes. I totally forgotten about that. Okay, okay, Ken, I'll share this screen. Okay, I hope you can see the screen now. Okay, so this is the question 2 that we are talking about, and then the solutions, the answers. So for the action, or should I say the non-action, for every non-action, it is actually why is it not aligned to the code of conduct? So it must tally. Okay, so you pick your points correctly, and that's how you get your 2 marks. Okay, so that's for part A regarding the code of conduct. Okay, second, B and C. B and C talks about the mistake in the algorithm itself. That's why there's a problem. So you need to look through the algorithm and be careful, because most part of the algorithm should be quite correct. Okay, because this algorithm didn't run into syntax error, right? And this kind of error comes normally during runtime. And not only runtime, it comes up very infrequently. That means after some long time of running it, there's an error. Okay, or when something happened, there's an error. Okay, so there are only 2 possibilities. One, if it runs for a long time and then the error comes out, is because certain condition is not met. For example, you expect someone to push a certain button or push a certain button in in a certain wrong way. And that happens. And then the error comes out. Okay, so one is because of the user input, or when it generate and then suddenly the output is a certain value and it run into an error. Okay, so that's one. The other one has to do with memory. Okay, if the algorithm is not written properly, then it kind of choke up the memory, and then it run into infinite loop, and then the whole system hang. Okay, so when you look through the question itself, right, you look out for the these two possibility. Is it because if you have to wait for a user to do something and then it trigger off the error, or naturally as it run over a period of time, it took up the memory and then it run into problem. Okay, so in this question itself, there's this issue about buffer being full. Okay, so this is due to because it run into either kind of infinite loops or whatever, or it run into this infinite recursion. Okay, so things like that, and then you suggest a fix for it. Okay, so the why testing did not, why during the testing this mistake is not highlighted. Now you must understand, when people test, okay, there are two kinds of people testing. One is the developer themselves. The developer, as he develop the algorithm, as he develop the software, whatever, they will create some test case and then they test. So they kind of fix to a certain set of data that they use to test the algorithm after a while. Okay, and then being the developer themselves, they sometimes have this blind spot. Okay, so they only test certain obvious situations, whether you give an error, don't give an error, run smoothly, that kind of thing. So that's one. Um, the other group of people that do the testing is the receiver, the person who engaged this company to write the software. Okay, so when they hand over the software or hand over the algorithm to the receiver will test it. But usually the receiver don't have the whole world of time to test it. Okay, so they test the standard one, the extreme cases, and then what are the cases the extreme cases, and outside the extreme cases is what the test case. Those are impossible test cases. Okay, impossible cases, and then make sure that it run to error or it's being captured by it. Okay, but then the thing is that when you have this kind of runtime error, you need to run it over a period of time continuously with a lot of input, a lot of output, that kind of thing, and then it will choke up the memory. So the reason is the short, the limited number of tests that's being done during the testing. Okay, so it did not accumulate to the point where it took up the memory. Cannot. So I want to, because the same scenario may not come out in the exam, right? In any case, but when you look at this kind of question, you look for this kind of possibility. Okay, cannot, and then you identify, and then you suggest a fix for it. Can pause here for a while for question 2. Any issue with question 2? Or if you're looking at the solution itself, any issue that you have that you want to clarify, just turn on your mic and then just ask. I think we can do that.
Mr. Thomas, so you say
Yeah.
the memory allocation one is the one you need to look out for, right? Like that's the first one, right? Then what's the second? Like what's the other one?
The other one is like, you see, like for example, if you expect, okay, let's say we push a button on the lift button, right? First floor, second floor, third floor, that kind of thing, and then you don't expect people to press the button 2 times, no. 99 press 2 times become 99th floor, no, something like that. So it take a weird person to press, 99. So that kind of instance, that kind of incident happening is so rare. Even testing, nobody do it. Okay, and one fine day, this little boy go and press 99, and then the whole algorithm fail. Okay, so that's the thing. So what I'm saying is that some error is being triggered because of a wrong input, and that wrong input, nobody in the normal sense will do it. So it take that coincidence. That's why they sometimes what it happens in a very unlucky way in that sense. Okay, so it could be an input kind of thing. Does that
So
answer
it's
your
like,
question?
so it's like need to validate the data.
In some sense, or validate the data, or cover enough cases to make sure that you will not get trapped into that particular condition. Okay, so that one has nothing to do with memory, because it doesn't choke out the memory. It's just that someone must, do that. You understand?
Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay. So of course the fix, like what you say, validation is one of them. And then if you have a if-else situation, you make sure that you cover all the else, so that this kind of case would not be so-called happen. Okay, if not, we'll go through question. Let's see. Question 3. Although none of you selected question 3, I want to say a little bit about question 3. Now, question 3 is a decision table. Okay, I think there are many examples in the A level and also the other college on decision table. But one thing that if you are trying to identify the conditions and the actions, okay, the number of condition and the number of actions, usually is 3. Usually it is a 3 condition. The reason why, you see, if let's say you have only 2 conditions, then there are only 4 possibility. Okay, there are only 4 possibility. If there are only 2 conditions, you only limited to just 4 possibility, a little bit too little. Now, if you have 3 conditions, there is 2 to the power of 3, which is 8. Then you see this kind of table. Okay, but what happens if there are 4 conditions? 2 to the power of 4, that is 16. 16, there will be 4 rows and then 16 column. Okay, is a bit too much to set in the exam. So I would say quite safe that most of the time people will set 3 conditions. Okay, 3 conditions, and then of course the number of action depend on the scenario itself. Okay, so the number of column that you draw depends on how many conditions are there. Okay, so when you read the question itself, okay, go and identify what are the conditions. Okay, cannot and your this condition, the way you phrase it must be like what Mr. Kwang previously said before, raining or it is dry. Now raining and dry is 2 opposite things, right? Correct? So you don't have, it's not 2 conditions, it's actually 1 condition. You don't go and split out into 2 conditions. Okay, because if you have true for raining and true for dry, then my question is that day what happened? Left side rain, right side don't rain, kind of thing. So raining and dry is actually 1 condition. So for example, like punctuality, being late, being on time. Being late, being on time is not 2 conditions. It's only 1 condition, is punctuality, whether you're punctual or not punctual. Okay, so please, the way you phrase your condition, okay, the way you phrase your condition will decide the way you put your true and your false. What does your true mean? What does your false mean? Okay, so that is what I have to say about the decision table. Mr. Kwong, you got anything to add on regarding, because prelim we also have a decision table question.
No, I think you mentioned the same point just now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good.
Because
good.
you usually decision table there's a second question. first ask you the first construct, right? Then there's a second question that asks you to remove redundancy. So
Redundancy, yes.
don't compress. If you see the question got a second step like this, right? So the first time round you don't compress it first, I feel.
Yeah, 3 condition, definitely you have to give them the full one, which is definitely 8 column. Okay. Yeah, there are 8 possibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Always write them as true false. So if so the way to do it is like if let's say for example the morning or evening question, right? You phrase your statement as like morning question mark, because okay, you don't put one for morning, one row for morning, one for evening. Sometimes it will confuse you as well lah. So because it's like you can, if you put morning question mark, right? That means I based on question. If you set as true, that one, that means I know it's morning. If you set as false, that means I know there's this evening lah. Yeah.
I also want to say something. Just now Mr. Kwang, I think highlighted this. Use true or false, because I come across student use a tick. Put it this way. Your tick and my tick may have 2 different meaning. And sometimes when you look at your tick, we also not sure whether what do you mean by your tick. So be very careful using a tick. I think true and false will be yes and no. Yes and no, true or false. These are very safe. Tick and a bit. So down here it crosses. Okay. So you need to kind of understand what it mean by cross, you see. So down here the cross doesn't mean that there is no warning letter. No. This cross means that there is a warning letter. No. So you understand when you put a cross, it means what? It means don't have no warning letter. When no, is this no warning letter? Oh, because it's nothing. No. Okay, so in this case, you see, so when you put a cross, it's very ambiguous in the sense, have warning letter or don't have warning letter. Okay, in this case, you realize that this person is true punctual, no absent violation, and then no overtime, not overtime. So it is the clause means no lah, don't have. Okay, so if you use symbol, a little bit tricky. Okay, true, false, yes, no, very clear. Can so try to keep on to that. Okay, so let's go to question 4. Question 4 is a database question. Okay, a database question. I highlighted here for 2 reasons. One has to do with the anomaly. Second one is the redesigning of the database. Okay, so let's take a look at question 4, which is over here. Okay, now the attribute primary key and all this kind of thing, I think it's quite standard. It's quite standard. The highest normal form from this table, I actually I didn't know. No, I mean I kind of never looked deep enough. Then I said, hey, perform normalization on the table up to 3rd normal form. Oh, that means this one is definitely not 3rd normal form lah. So this one at most is 2nd normal form. That's all. So I see whether is it 1st normal form, is it 2nd normal form. 3rd normal form, no need to see it, because down here it says that you need to perform normalization to reach 3rd normal form. So sometimes there's a hint that you can cheat a little bit. You won't make a mistake. You say 3rd normal form, gone case. Okay. And then the query SQL for retrieval. This is what you need to know. Now, part D. Give an example on the insert, update, or delete anomaly. Give one example. Okay, this one, or this one that could occur with the table above. Okay, explain why it's considered as anomaly. Now, this question is a subset of what we asked in our prelim question. Our prelim question require you to know all of them, and then have specific example why it is insert anomaly, why is it update anomalies, and then you give specific example. So our prelim question, so at this point, if you what is anomaly, how is it then is update anomaly, how is it that? So please go and refer to our prelim questions. Okay, so these anomaly questions, for them, they set only 1 question, they give 2 marks because the weightage is not high. Compared to our prelim, we set 3 questions on it and 2 marks each. So it's a 6-mark question. So the weightage is higher. Okay, cannot. So there is a reason why I included that in the prelim lah, because I felt that this anomaly thing is a concept that some student, especially if you don't pay attention to details, some students will overlook. They think that insert, update, deletes is something that's so common sense and is easily understood. But then when you put into a database, then it is not so straightforward. Okay, you need to equip, you need to have the understanding of these anomalies. Okay, so for all the three cases, right? So you realize that this question is very lenient. You say anyone are also correct, but main thing is that you must know how to explain. Okay, because all these three things happen in the table itself. Okay, it has update anomaly, it has insert anomaly, and it has delete anomaly. So I want to ask you this question. Why this particular table has so many problems? Why do you think that this table has so many problems? Any answer? Quite funny, right? I mean, you design a table and then a table got so many problems, right? Then the integrity of this data is become questionable, right? How reliable are these data, right? So my question is, how come? What's the underlying reason why this table has so many anomalies? Can someone give us want to give a try? Just turn on your mind. No right and wrong answer. Just speak out your mind. Hello, am I alone up there?
Is it because of one NF?
Because of?
One NF.
Is it only because of one NF? Your answer is partially correct, but then my question back to you, is it only because it is, I don't know whether you say one NF or not one NF, okay? Is it because it's not one NF?
You got a multiple primary key.
It has multiple, but it cannot be what? How can every to identify every record, to identify any record, okay? You can have, I mean, you will have a primary key that helps you to identify a particular record. So there won't be a multiple primary key. There won't be. In this table itself, there's, if you want to identify a particular row, you must have a set of primary key. A set, saying composite primary key. So there won't be a lot of multiple primary key. If there's only one primary key, but make up of many fields. Okay, the hint is almost like what Stephen was saying. One NF. Is it just only because of one NF?
Repeated attributes are.
Repeated attributes. Which attribute is repeated? Can you tell me?
There's like bleach and animation. So if you're like trying to remove the first one, then you might accidentally delete all of bleach.
No. Which attribute are you talking about? Where got? I only see movie names, movie.
No, not
genre.
that, not that. I'm saying like below the data.
The data itself. No. When you say attributes, when you say attribute, we are talking about the field names.
Yeah.
We are not talking about the data.
Yeah.
So there is no repeat attributes here.
Okay, not the attributes. I'm talking about the data.
The data.
Yes.
Okay, there are duplicates.
Yes.
There are duplicates. Okay. Those duplicates, if they are consistent, then there's no issue. Okay, if they are consistent. For example, like you say bleach, right? Bleach, and then is animations. So animations duplicates, right? But then there's no, they're all consistent, right? Correct out the, and then what else? Nothing else. Nothing really. Right? Is there any inconsistency? Don't really, like, it doesn't matter, right, whether they are the same or not the same. So for example, like let's say you have a table that contain names of the student, and this particular student in some row is being put as a male, in another row is being put as female. Okay, maybe got 5 rows put female, 1 row put male. Question is, do you trust the more rows one, or do you trust the one that is 1 row one? The answer is we don't know, because it could mean that you make multiple error and then you type in wrongly more time, and then the correct one you only type in one time. So it doesn't mean a majority win, no. Cannot, huh? So let's remember that. So those are duplicates. Now, actually the reason why there are so many anomaly is because the table is not normalized. The table is not normalized. That's why there are redundancy. That's why there are duplicates. So it is not only just one NF. Even if it's not two NF, there is also redundancy. So long as you have redundancy in your table, that will have the opportunity, or that will have a chance of all this anomaly happening. So long as you have a table that is not normalized, the anomalies will appear because there's redundancy. Okay, so it's not just an issue of 1NF, 2NF. Okay, if the thing is not 3NF, it also is also considered as not normalized. Cannot. I hope that helps you understand a little bit why anomalies happen. Anomalies happen because there's redundancy. Why redundancy? Because it's not normalized. Okay, so to solve the problem of anomaly, normalization is the solution. Okay, for relational database. Okay. Any question on based on what I have just said? Okay. So if you refer to this now this is not the real ER diagram. If you look at the solution, this thing is not the ER diagram. Please if you want to learn ER diagram, don't learn from this diagram. Cannot. In an ER diagram, in the diagram, we do not include the attributes. Okay, we don't even so-called indicate the foreign key and primary key. So this is not. But this diagram shows the relationship between the tables. Cannot. And then down here, the X here is suggesting that the modification part. Okay, remove this particular table. Okay, and then then modify it into this way. Okay, cannot. So there is a redesigning of the database itself. Can. So that's where it comes in from this question, right? Draw the ER diagram, describe the additional table and their relationship to the model. So please when they ask you draw ER diagram, don't draw this kind of ER diagram. This is wrong. This is wrong. So it only helps you to understand. You can take a look and say which are all the fields that is included in that particular table. But this is not an ER diagram. Okay, let's be very clear about that. Okay, Ken. So I think what I want to highlight for this particular question, because the in this question itself, it goes on to talk about the system doesn't allow them to purchase certain kind of ticket online or kind of thing. So down here require you to so-called do the modification so that it allows this thing to happen. Okay, so so this is pretty interesting, but then again, I felt that as a question, database question, this is very elaborate. I didn't count the total score. Mr. Guan, if you were to just do a quickly check, this database weightage is super high. Okay, because it involves that modifications, but it is an interesting question. Okay, it is an interesting question. Ken? Okay. Because of the scenario, I felt that it's an interesting question because of the scenario. Ken? And then of course there's one small portion about the because the silver screen, they need to collect customer info. Okay, so that involves the personal data protection. Okay, so what are the measures? Okay, so please refer to that. Then there are the here the right consents, notification, purpose. Okay, so there are many. Okay, there are many. And then you so I think this question will be good in a sense where which once you deal with customer info, right, you can probably memorize some of this. right? Maybe not 5 of them, but you just remember 3, which is quite good enough for a typical exam. Okay, so that covers the PDPA. Okay, I'm gonna pause here for a while, and then
I'll take over, right?
not yet. Last.
Oh,
Okay,
7. Okay, can.
the part K. Silver screen is deciding between developing a native application or a web app. Okay, so by now, if please understand what is a native applications. So in your understanding, you kind of download whenever you want to run an app on your handphone. You have to go to your Play Store or App Store to go and download it. Now, once you download that, likelihood, it is a native application. Okay, so what are the features of a native application? It makes use of your GPS. It makes use of your scanning of your facial and of your thumb scanning. It makes use of your camera. It even makes use of the data that you store safe inside your handphone. Okay, so a native app require installation, and it can make use of some of these built-in function within your device itself. Can compared to a web app. Now, sometimes when we browse certain website, right, you can bookmark it, right? In our handphone, we can also bookmark it and it become an icon, right? Okay, so that next time when you visit the website again, you just double click on that, you can go to their website. I do that for my this CDC voucher. Okay, so I kind of save it as an icon, and then I click on it every time I go to my CDC voucher, and then I can use it. Okay, so that one is a web app. That one is a web app because it's just a bookmarking of a particular website. Okay, so in a web app situation, you don't have the luxury of a camera. You can't use the camera. You cannot use the thumb scanning. You cannot use the, all the features of the device itself. Okay, a web app. And web app, the good thing is that you don't need anyone. You don't need the person to install. So long as you have internet connection, you can just run. Okay, so have an understanding of what is native app and what is a web app. Then you can talk about the advantages and the disadvantages. Okay, so that is question 4 that I'm going up to. I'm a little bit puzzled about question 6 because one of you wanted question 6. I felt that question 6 is very standard. It's a very standard question. It talks about packet switching protocol, what it means, internet, intranet, kind of thing, DNS server. Okay, F. This is the one. State 2 cryptographic technique. Okay, state 2 cryptographic technique for the confident transmission of data. The answer, I disagree with the answer. I think maybe the intention of the answer didn't intend that. Symmetric encryption. Symmetric encryption means that the same key lock it, the same key unlock it. You use just one key, it would encrypt and decrypt. The public key cryptography is the 2 key. That means a public and private key. Okay, cryptography. These are the 2, symmetric and the asymmetric. Because asymmetric, because the public and the private key are 2 different keys. Okay, now the mentioning of the data certificate for authentication here, this is I don't agree, because the question only asks for the 2 cryptographic techniques. It doesn't include the use of digital certificate. Okay, it does not involve the digital certificate in this case. So I think the 2 technique is symmetric or the asymmetric cryptographic the encryptions. Cannot. By the way, digital certificate is not in your syllabus. Okay, we kind of mention it or we teach it a little bit because of for completeness sake. Okay, cannot, because it's a small thing and then it's being practiced, but it's not in your syllabus. A-level syllabus does not include digital certificate. Can? Mr. Kwang, I'm done with question 6. Sorry, question?
I saw the digital cert isn't tested for A level.
Sorry, you mumble, I can't hear.
I heard digital cert isn't tested for A level.
Sorry, couldn't hear you also. What is not tested?
Digital cert.
Yeah, it's not explicitly inside the syllabus lah.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
it was tested for 24 and 22.
Sorry.
Can you speak into the mic and
It was
slower and
tested
louder?
on 2024 and 2022.
Digital cert for authentication. That's the that's the one where you have the digital. You talking about the digital signature part, is it?
Yeah, it was same as
Digital
it's part
signature
of
is
digital.
in your syllabus.
Mm.
Digital certificate is not in your syllabus.
I think you look at the wording of the question. I think they mention signature.
Which question?
I think last year's A level, is it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, in all our A level, if they ever mention or they ask questions specific to that, it is referring to digital signature. It is not digital certificate. Does that answer your questions?
Yeah,
Okay, can
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I take over the
Okay.
screen share.
Okay, I stop the screen share.
Oh, okay. NYJC. Okay, can. Let me see.
You're going NYJC, right?
Uh, Looking at the questions, I think it's about the same lah. I think MY has question 5 and 6, and then RI has question 7. So I briefly looked through them this morning. I think that's sorry. I think the window jump over. Okay, just close up this one. Okay, so NYJC, just now Mr. Tan said he didn't agree with one of the NJ answers, right? I think there were some answers here that I don't feel very comfortable with. So I threw into ChatGPT to go and get some help as well lah. Okay, so we talk about that later. Okay, so question 5 is also okay. So this is a OOP going into a database kind of question. All right, so we can take a look at this one. Actually, I find the start very familiar. I think we saw it a few years ago lah. Similar idea lah. Maybe 2-3 years levels, I think. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this one, I assume there's no issue with the part A, part B, part C. Let me check. Don't have.
2020 A level. 2020 A
Yeah,
level.
the car one, right? Okay, part A, B, C, no issue. Part C, I think don't have 5. Oh, you all want straight 5 D, E, F, G only. Okay, so identify a suitable key for the above table. So okay, so anyway, the question says that I want to store use a DB to store, and then now I want to store in this table. So you have VRN, total distance, date higher, date return, cost per day, etc. Okay, identify a suitable primary key for the above table. In this case here, right, you definitely know you need the VRN. That one is uh confirm need one lah. Okay, but the other thing you need, because now right, you do know that every vehicle can be rented out multiple times. Okay, so just the VRN alone is not enough to have it as a primary key lah. So you need the date hired at the same time. So VRN and date hired come in together. Hold on, I find the question now. NYJC over here. Okay. So the answer keys are all a bit messy lah, I think, but we try to make sense of it. Okay. Then identify suitable SQL data types for the following columns. Date hired. I mean that one you don't have to use a date object. Okay, you can just use a text lah. Okay. Because anyway, this is SQL data types. I don't think we specifically mentioned about a SQL date type of object. We have a Python date time object, but that's not the same as this one here.
I think
Okay, so
SQL don't have. SQL don't
uh,
have.
I think if you want to store as a date time object, right? It's technically right. It is still storing it as a string as a text or there's one more type called a block, right? Yeah, so it could just be those two types. But because one mark at the simplest level, right? This is just a text or text and not string. Be careful. Okay. Available, this is Boolean, true, false. All right. Okay. State whether the above table is in 3NF. Explain your answer. Okay, so for this one, if you don't understand 3NF, you start by checking from 1NF. Okay. Then you hope that if you don't know 3NF, right, you hope that this table is not 1NF compliant, not or not 2NF compliant. Okay, so this one is one NF for sure lah. I think more or less you can tell it's one NF. Okay, 2NF, right? 2NF we are looking for we don't want any partial dependency. So partial dependency is in this case I have two fields that come together to form the primary key, your VRN and date hired. So I must make sure that the rest of the columns are total distance, date return, cost per day, available fuel type, max load, right? Must be dependent on both of them. Okay, so this one is very easy to break out because you look at, let's say, like fuel type and max load, right? They only depend on the VRN. Okay, so this one is already enough to break 2NF already. Okay, 3NF, can you, if you want to, can you 4 marks, right? So maybe, right, okay, so 4 marks. Okay, I think the answer here, they say the way they write it, I don't think it's worth 4 marks, but we go by that. Okay, so maybe if you want to enhance your answer a bit, right? Okay, so you say that, oh, this is already not 2NF compliant. So if your table is not 2NF compliant, right, it cannot be 3NF. Then you give example of why is it not 2NF. Because cost per day does not depend on the date hired. Okay. Then, okay, if you want to check 3NF, 3NF is transitive, right? So which one is transitive? Is there any transitive dependency here? Anyone can spot? Is there anything that's transitive one? That one not so easy to see, right? Actually, I don't see anyone that's clear cut. Yeah. Let me see. VRN. Total distance is dependent on VRN. That's fine. Date return, no, date returns are cost per day is also dependent directly on VRN. Available also depends on VRN. Fuel type, VRN. Max load, also VRN directly. Okay, so actually this one, if you go by 3NF, right, actually technically is 3NF lah. But you cannot have 3NF without having 2NF. Okay, and I think 4 marks is a bit too generous here, right? Okay, then you have ER diagram for the four tables. Now you have car and van. Okay, so I think this one is not too difficult over here. They just wrote it out this way lah, on the side here. Okay, so vehicle and car is a one to one. One car can only be pointing to one vehicle, and then same for van. Vehicles can be hired multiple times. So that means the vehicle to hire table, right, is a one to many relationship. Okay. Okay, so here, right, then write SQL statement to retrieve from the above tables the VRNs of hybrid cars and their latest date of hire. Okay, so the answer here, right, they use, okay, because different schools train differently, right, they use join. Okay, so we don't use join, right, so we're going to write the SQL query for you lah. Okay, so the idea is that, okay, I just want the latest higher, right? So we need to do a little bit of stuff. Okay, I'm just going to type it here lah. Okay, just give me max up this guy a bit. Okay, so let's just type it out. So I will select. Okay, so I'm just using the tables here. So I'll do select vehicle dot vrn and then hire dot date hired. Okay, so this one. Okay, from where? From vehicle. Oh, I got AI autocomplete. And higher. I think it's trying to complete for me. Wait, I gotta off this thing. Very irritating. Okay. Okay, so this one, right? And then I need to match because I need to use the VRN to VRN here, the VRN the higher to match the vehicle VRN, right? So I do where vehicle dot VRN is equals to higher dot VRN. Okay, and so I need to check the vehicle type, right? Vehicle type has to be a hybrid car, right? So this one, I need to use car. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I should use vehicle here. Sorry, I should be using car. Sorry, my fault. Car. Okay, so I don't have to use a vehicle because this is sufficient already. This car table is enough already. Okay, and car dot fuel type equals to hybrid lah. Okay, like that. Okay, the next thing I want to do is that because, right, I only want the latest day of hire. So remember, if I do this way, right, if a car has been rented out multiple times, right, I will pull out multiple entries of the same VRN. Okay, so what I want to do is that I only want the latest one. Okay, so I'm going to arrange them. Okay, so what I do is that I will arrange by I will do
Order.
order by higher dot date hired. Okay, and I want the latest entry to be first. Okay, so maybe I need a descending.
Mm,
Okay, limit to 1.
mm.
Ah, I hope you understand the logic. They only want the first entry. Actually, this one actually might be true also. You will only limit the. I think we have some problem. I don't know whether you'll catch the problem or not.
Why
Yeah,
why
I
do you
thought
think there's a problem?
because it will limit. It will not group by the car VRN. So that means, let's say you got 3 cars being rented, each car being rented 3 times, right? Then you sort by date, right? It will only give you the latest one out of that nine entries. Correct?
Mm,
Oh?
mm.
Okay, so let's look at the solution again and see which part we miss out on. I think it's good to compare. So what did they do? Oh, they group. Yeah, there's a group. Yeah. Okay,
Group by the
so
VRN.
yeah, group by the VRN. So I need to group by higher VRN. So group can come in anywhere lah. Group. Alright.
Uh,
Yeah.
the group by must come after your where and the end.
Okay. Yeah.
Because after you constrain them, then you group by. No,
Mm.
no, no. After the end of
Oh,
the condition.
last part lah.
Yeah. Then you group by, then you order, then you limit.
Mm. Yeah, I think in this case, yeah, it should work already. You try and see lah. If you want to go and create the table, go and try and see. Yeah.
Okay. First thing is this. Just because you see other school, in fact, most of the other school use this inner join and outer join and this kind of join. So far we have never taught join before. There is no need to. So don't go and force yourself and go and learn this join last minute. Okay. The way what Mr. Kwang do is that you have where the condition and another condition. If let's say you have 3 tables, then you just have the conditions to link them up together. That will be sufficient. Okay.
Yeah. So just check through this one. So like what Mr. Tan mentioned, I think join is I at our okay, I it's not that I want to look down on what I students are, but I think we come in with a very steep learning curve, right? So to make things easier, right, we give you the easiest version. So if you really go and learn join detail, I think you can get a lot more from it in the long run. But then for now, for the sake of A levels, we don't worry too much about it lah. Okay, can okay. 6 network okay. Network stuff. Okay, I try my best. Okay, so network stuff. Okay, so describe how network protocols address the following problems. Data packets may arrive out of order and require reassembly. Okay, I think some we mentioned in your data packet and the header, right? You need to have store the sequence number. Okay, so the sequence number will tell the receiving device how to the order to assemble things. Let's say, for example, you split your data into, let's say, like 6 different packets. You number them 1 out of 6. Okay, so this is not the weighted number, but essentially it goes 1 out of 6, 2 out of 6, 3 out of 6, 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, 6 out of 6. Okay, then if you get number 4 first, right? You know that, oh, it says 4 out of 6. Okay, that means I expect to receive five more packets. Then I wait, then I will use that to reassemble. Okay, so data packets may be corrupted in transit. So this is the part where your signature will come in lah. Okay, so basically, if you look at the answer key, right, packet data is hashed to produce a checksum. Then I verify the checksum. Okay, so this is similar to your digital signature idea there. Okay, suggest the okay. So part B, right, is the one I have some issue with lah. Okay, part B, I have state time complexity of the following operations: adding item to an array, adding item to a BSD. Okay, so add item to BSD, no issue, because you know that you go in, you split half, right? You either go left or go right. So that one you know for sure is a O log n. Okay, but why is adding an item to an array O n? Okay, anyone wants to try?
This is a very good question.
Hmm. is purposely vague. It's vague. Anyone any idea? Okay, when is adding an item to an array O1? No have ah? No one knows ah. Then how? Come on, some question how to do.
When it's a list, is it?
When it's a list, okay, so when it's a list, yes. Okay, so later I thought a little bit more about that. But you have also seen cases where you have, for example, like a hash table. A hash table is an array. So don't care how big your hash table is, right? You apply the hashing function to your data, then you get the hash value, right? Then you can straight away go there. If there's no collision, it is O1 lah. Okay, so provided there's no collision. If there's collision, then technically you can just build on from there. Okay, then you talk about list, right? If we look at Python list, right? When is adding a item to a list O1?
Append function.
Append, right? Why is append O1?
Because it just appends it to the back of the list.
Just straight away throw it to the back, right? So let's say right now your list has 10 items, you append one more become 11. Okay, but what if you insert at index equals 0? What will happen?
What
If
do you mean
let's say
insert?
your list contains letters A to J, okay, A is at index 0. Then you choose to insert letter Z at index 0. What happen now? Does it we know what will happen lah. You will just become, instead of A B C D E F G, right, you become Z A B C D E F G, right? So basically A goes into 1, right? A goes from index 0 to index 1. B goes from index 1 to index 2. All right. So this process is not okay from our, when we type in, it seems like to be an automatic process, right? But back end, right, what is happening is that when you insert something at the front, right, okay, or something in the middle, those at the back are going to shift back by one position. So when you shift back, right, so everything you shift by 1, right? So if your list has 1,000 items, you insert something at position 0, right, the other 1,000 items have to shift. Shift, and you shift one by shift one by one. So I think that's why, right, the answer is ON. So without any other without any elaboration on the question itself, right, we will always assume the worst case scenario lah. So that's why this one they give the answer as ON, which I can agree. But I think you'll trip up a lot of people lah, because technically you say, array straight away add in, don't have to think, just it's O01 one. Because we always tell you, you between adding into a hash table versus a linked list, right? Linked list you need to traverse all the way to the end. Hash table straight away, boom, going already. Okay, so just be careful about this one. So for questions that are very vague like this, is a bit of a trap sometimes.
Please
Yeah.
remember Python list. Python list is a very unique list, a data structure for Python. Okay. When Cambridge use the word array, it is in a traditional way. That means it's a fixed size, and then it is not the Python list. So the idea of append is not there. For array, you want to insert something, you want to insert at the end, you got to specify the index. So in any a generic programming language, you have to indicate the index where you want to insert the element, even if it's at the end. Okay, so treat this a very traditional way.
A generic list is more similar to a tuple kind of a structure, I feel. More similar.
No,
not the same.
no.
Not the same, right?
The tuple is more like an array. It's a static memory allocation.
Sorry, I mean a generic array is more similar to a tuple structure in Python.
Yes.
You cannot
And
grow
it's
it.
not mutable and
Okay, part C, data structure used to hold data packets that are being reassembled. Describe one advantage and one disadvantage for each of them. Okay, so this was similar to one of the questions that one of you asked on WhatsApp a few days ago. Static array and then dynamically allocated BST. Okay, so So if you have a static array, right, you need to know a few things. So one is that your insertion is someone coming. Okay, so basically array, right, you can insert very, very, very quickly. Just basically one slot, next slot, third slot, fourth slot, fifth slot. That's very fast. You don't have to think about it. Okay, but the thing about array is that you need to know, right, how big is your how many data packets do you need to store? Like for example, if you tell me that, oh, hey, I later got delivery to your house. There are 10 items. Okay, can I make space for 10 items? Then if you come actually only got one item, then that's the issue. Then you waste the space. Or you tell me actually only very, very small, just three items. But actually you come in like 50 items. Okay, so the main advantage of, if you generalize it, right, the main advantage of a static array is that, right, you can insert, you can traverse quite quickly one. Okay, and there is this one I think is a bit technical, but if you look at the memory space, you just assume that the memory space in your computer, right, is basically is like a table like that, like with rows and columns. Okay, so if you assign something to an array, you can just say, oh, from row A, from boxes 1 to 10, I chop it from my array. Okay, so you can jump from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 10 very easily. Okay, but if you have to jump from, let's say, but then if you talk about dynamically allocated, it means, can I start my BSD here at slot number 5? Okay, but later on, before you can fill up the next thing, right, you have to fill something else first. Then end up your BSD, the next node is at slot number 20. You have to jump from 5 to 20, and that takes time as well. Okay, so that is the benefit of your static array. Think your memory allocations are usually all close together one. Okay, then of course the con is that you need to set how much space you want lah, right? Okay, then the thing about BSD is that if you do BSD, right, what's the worst kind of BSD you can have? We mentioned this many times, right? BSD is good if your data coming in, right, is random. Is random. That means in terms of the order, or not the order. Okay, if we let's say we stop by the data packets sequence number, right? If they come in randomly, that's okay. If they come in, let's say for example, I have 10 packets to come in. Oh, packet 5 come in first, then packet 4, then packet 9, packet 1, packet 2. That's fine. But if you have them coming in sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Then you're gonna have issue. Then your BSD will become unbalanced. It will just go down one side. Then that's the worst kind of BSD. Okay, so there are pros and cons to both lah. Okay, so it's a choice that you as an engineer, you have to make it. All right. Okay. Next question is similar to the one that you saw just now. Okay, so again, only data packets that are too large need to be split into multiple point packets, then which are reassembled. So network router uses the following algo: allocate sufficient memory to hold data. If you don't need reassembly, free the allocated memory and pass the data to a program. If you require assembly, instantiate array with sufficient slots. Okay, when all data fragments have been received, pass the data to the appropriate program. So the key here is that step 3. Step 3 does not have this thing in step 2. Okay. Yep. Okay. So basically, you step 3, you just instantiate array. Or then once you are done with it, right? Just pass data. You never kill the array. The array is still there. Okay. So this is a runtime error. Okay. Why is it not called initial user testing? Because you never test in the long run. You never test it for long enough. Okay. Then change requires, so basically the change is that you need to add in here, step 4, right? After data fragments, we pass the data to the appropriate program, free the allocated memory. Okay, then that should be fine. Okay, so this is question 6 of NY. Okay, I think anything else for NY? Let me check. NY.
Okay, regarding the memory packets, I always have this question till today is still not answered. Okay, when your data when they go through transmission, is being broken down into packets, and the packet size is different. No, don't assume that it will divide the packets into equal size. The packet size is different. So till today, I don't know what is the factor, what's the reason why some packets are bigger, some packets are smaller. I don't know the reason, but I do know that the packets will go in multiple different paths, because there's certain algorithm that will decide at that particular instant which path is more available. Okay, which path will be smoother, faster to go. So this is a very the algorithm, it keep on calculating the best path at that instant, and then send out. It came out in the news sometime this year. If I'm not wrong, it's a Chinese scientist. She just uh, discover another algorithm that is better than the one that is widely used today. And that new algorithm will speed up the router performance in terms of identifying which is the best path. So there is driven by algorithm. So which is the best path is driven by algorithm. But the packet size till today I still very puzzled. I don't know how come some are bigger, some are smaller. Okay, so I just want to share that with you to tell you that packet size is not a fixed size. It's not a fixed size. So there's some kind of thing that governs it.
Hmm. Okay, I'm looking at question 1. I was wondering why. Okay, I think I know where the fast is. The fast could be in part B lah. Okay, so part A is straightforward. Part A, convert a phone number to hexadecimal, then convert into ASCII values. Okay, phone number, then convert ASCII value. Map each character to ASCII value. Okay, so this one can you do this? Map each convert the phone number to a hexadecimal. So that one is just basically you do the long division. This one you can use your calculator to solve one. You don't have to. You can 2 marks. Wow, the working is actually quite tedious lah. But I don't know. I think it's uh
I
unnecessarily tedious. I feel.
I think what you can do is this: if you are unsure whether to show the
Use
working or not,
calculator chance.
the first one, the second one, you show the working clearly, and then you just say similarly, then the rest, then the answers for each one of them. Then the rest you don't show the working. You understand? So you just show one or two workings to tell them that you know the working lah, and the rest then you just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And another way of doing this is to use your calculator to get this 3BEE 5A9, right? Then you reverse engineer the working out lor. So this is 9 times 16 power 0. This is 10 times 16 power 1. You reverse engineer the outer steps also can. Okay. Okay, then they convert the ASCII value. So each now, okay, so this hexadecimal wrap, this is treating basically the whole number as an integer. This one ASCII value, right? Now this is treating it as a string. Okay, so each number you can convert all of them. Okay, so determine the minimum number of bits to store the phone number. So I think this one actually quite interesting. Integer. So this one basically you start with this guy here, right? You basically do a log2 to get the number of bits out lah. So you need 28 bits to store this number. Or anyway, over here, right, you can see that 3BBE589 has 7 hexa bits, right? Every hexa bit has 4 binary bits. Okay, so then you go and just times it out, 28. Okay. Okay, then ASCII value 7 bits. So this one is the concept we talked about last time or so. Okay, so we can do the calculation. Anything else that's difficult? Oh, I realize they really love their BSD. Now come on, more BSD. Okay. Is there anything that anyone wants to ask about this one? Otherwise, I take it as a BSD is relative. It looks straightforward lah. Okay. Suggest 3 other anything. Suggest using a binary search tree instead of a sorted array for managing phone numbers instead. Suggest 2 reasons. Okay, so standard stuff, complexity in time. Okay, maintains this in sorted order. Okay, so these are the standard stuff. Suggest three other suitable test values. Okay, I see what they want you to search. What are they searching for? The 6206. Start and end. What are they doing here? Search data type, texting array data. Okay, target the phone number default, start and end, site and indexes. Okay, so they search this number. Function call. Why they search besides 6282842281? Suggest three other test values for target of the above array. This is 1G. Oh, extreme cases. Oh. So again, this one, so when you see this kind of thing, you basically go for normal, extreme, and then also out of range. Okay. So normal,
I
technically
spotted
because
I spotted one error for that 1G. The extreme case should not be 0. The 99991 is agree, but the 0 is wrong. Can someone tell me why 0 is wrong?
can your phone think about your phone number.
Nobody will key in a 0.
Hmm.
0
will
is
you
not an
key?
extreme case. 0 is not an extreme case. 0 is an
Is it
abnormal
stored
case.
as what is it stored as? Integer.
Did they say
So
that?
the stored as integer. So the
Integer.
smallest integer would be the smallest 8-digit integer I would say
Yeah, it is a 1 and a 70.
170 I think
1
that
and
one
70.
would be
Yeah, it cannot
a
be a
more
0.
better answer.
Yeah, so that's an extreme case.
Okay. What else? NY anything? Question 4. What's question 4? I just scanned a bit. Question 4 是什么来的? Digital cert. I think so many times already. Go and figure out. Okay. Okay. Let's go to RI. RI question 7. One also got a little bit of votes. Okay, I'll go from the front lah. Anyway, I'm using VS Code to view this because of the stupid NJC. Why they give answer key in Jupyter Notebook one? Damn irritating.
Uh,
For,
okay.
yeah.
They are
You,
able to format. They are able to do the formatting.
irritating, very hard to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taxi. Okay, Grab, right. I think should be okay. Whoever asks this question, anything that you concerned about, anything that puzzles you.
Turn on your mic and then tell us what's the issue about this.
Because from our
question.
point of view, it looks straightforward lah.
Yeah.
It looks straightforward. Okay, so every ride will point to one driver and one passenger. What else? Driver is connected to ride. One driver will have many rides. One passenger will have many rides. So driver and ride relationship is one to many. Okay, then passenger to ride is also one to many. Payment method, unique payment ID, ride ID. Where is it pointing? Oh, it's connected to the ride law. So connected to the ride, every ride will have a unique payment ID. So it's a one to one. Should be one to one lah. Okay, let me check. Question 1. 1 to 1. 1 to 1. Yeah, ride and payment 1 to 1. Okay. Anything else that you want to ask? Which driver earns the most? So write SQL query. Anything special about this query? Use join. So join basically you can replace a join with where something equals to something. Okay, most of the time you work.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing else, right? Okay. No one say anything, Okay, then private data one PDPA from perspective of a passenger, explain two concerns you may have about how you drive. Oh, you do not want to, for example, you are concerned about whether your personal data is being leaked or not, right? Okay, so there's some. Okay, so over here, 1F, okay, 1E, okay, unconsented data sharing, data retention, and then location data misuse, etc., etc. I think these are very widespread answers that are possible. Okay, then do not, for drivers' perspective, do not misuse data, keep confidential, etc., etc. Okay, plans to work with a third-party fraud analysis firm. What action should the company take before sharing? Okay, so sign confidentiality agreement, sign sign agreement to have, okay, so you can that means this consent part, right, obtain informed consent from passengers, that means when they book a ride, right, or when they sign up for an account, right, you must tell them that we share your data with third party for fraud analysis. Okay, you need to agree to this. Okay, so that is what I mean by informed consent. Okay, so if the passenger don't want to give consent, then how? Passenger don't want to give consent, you don't let the passenger use your app, lor. That seems to be the standard way of dealing such case. It's like when you sign up for a service or you buy a product, right? You know you have the end user agreement, right? If you don't accept that one, right, it's okay. You don't use it, lor. Yeah. This is not the kindest way to deal with a customer, but then there is no other alternative.
Have.
There's
That means
no alternative.
if the person don't want to provide the full information,
Ah,
then it has a lesser function, lesser feature.
yeah. You will
Ah,
restrict the things you can do lah.
correct. Yeah, I mean you can browse which one is available and all kind of. Maybe like somebody just want to take a look and see whether this app is good or no good. Do they have a good fleet of number of vehicles? So
Mm,
they just want to take a look. So they don't want to register. They don't want to key in their IC number. Then
mm.
but then in order for them to book, they must give the full detail. Then they can book. Something like that.
Okay, I give you my personal example. WhatsApp also asks for location data. I switch it off. Okay, I'm not so. I let like Google Maps and all have my Grab also have my location data, because that one you need lah, because with Grab you don't give location data, right? How does the driver know how to find you, right? Okay, but WhatsApp I don't feel you need, but the only time when you need it is that your friend asks you, hey, can you share your live location? Then you got issue already. Then you have to scroll on the map on your own lor, to mark where you are. So because of my own choice to not agree to WhatsApp having my location, right, I cannot use that feature lah. Okay, so that's question one. Let's see what's the next one. Question five. Just a bit. Let's see what's five.
Microcontroller.
Five. Ayo. I never read this one, but we read now on spot lah. Okay, so hexadecimal, decimal reading 178. Store in binary hexa. Okay, sounds okay. Convert non-negative. Okay, why they want to say non-negative decimal? Remember, we never teach you, we only ask you to count from 0 all the way up, right? We never ask you to count negative, because negative number is a whole can of worms. And then we also never ask you to do like, oh, can you do 1.2 also? Cannot. Fraction is also very, very, very not so simple lah. If you want to read out, right, you can go read on one.
Yeah,
Right?
negative number and floats.
Uh,
Writing in this binary. We at JC level it's not included. You need
yeah.
to go to university to learn that.
They taught me the course, but I forget everything. Okay.
I
Yeah.
learned that donkey years ago, and today I all forgotten. But I know
Yeah.
what is it about. I can search two complement.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember it for the test, and after that I just throw it back already. Okay, what code should insert code here be so that the binary digits are correct? So this one divide by 2. I say okay. Go ahead, insert code here. Result. Okay, so this is basically adding it to the. Okay, so remember when we do this divide by 2 repeatedly method, right? At the end, we will take our remainder, right? But we start reading from the bottom to the top. Okay, so in this case, right, your insertion here, it has to be inserted at the front. Because usually when we add to a string, right, we add to the back. We do string equals to string plus new item. Okay, but in this case here, right, we have to add to the front. So string, in this case, will be result equals to remainder plus result. Okay, so I think this is question 4. Question 4. Over. Is this question 4? 5. Sorry, 5. 5. Over 5b. There. Convert to string lah. Okay. Then rewrite the as a recursive function. I leave it for you to go figure out this one. I think should be okay. Okay. By now you have enough exposure to it already, so I don't think there's a need to go through this now. Okay. Next. Network question, right? 7. Yeah. Because of this just now, after I see this, I realized, oh, it was lunchtime. So call Grab. Call Grab for food. Okay, question 7. Anything that is, I think question 7, right? I also got some queries and answers.
Uh,
Okay, so rider logs into the app. Your device sends a request to api.foodtrack.sg. What's the role of DNS? DNS, remember, is a directory. Okay, so directory basically when you type something into your web browser, the web browser, if it already stores the IP address for this website, then you should access. If it doesn't store, it will go to its DNS server. There are I think about 12 or 13 DNS servers in the world. So those are the so-called, they call it the canonical DNS servers. That means they are the ones that are recognized to be the most accurate one, the most updated one. So
most
your
of the time the ISP also
also
maintain
have their
one
own
DNS. They have
so
one
they will
DNS server.
basically they will save a copy for themselves.
Mm.
Because if everyone you search, you have to query the 12 or 13 DNS server, right? Then that takes out time lah. So usually when you use your phone, your home internet you set up, right, it will just query its own DNS server lor, built in lah. So that the let's say for example you're using Singtel, right? Singtel will save a copy of the DNS records from one of the big DNS servers. So you also can use your own DNS server. You can set out such that you those of you want to protect your privacy, some you have done that lah. Okay.
But you
Then
must remember that domain name is being created worldwide, every day, anytime. So newly created this URL okay, the IP address that links the IP address and the URL may not be available in your nearest DNS server because they need to synchronize it, you see. So it takes time to synchronize. So somewhere, the other part of the world, somebody just created the URL and then tell you to go and try to access it. Of course, you can't access it, Then they have to search all the way up to the DNS that is has the most updated copy. Then you will get the IP address to go to the URL.
it's a perennial problem when we use the school network lah, especially when the address is very new. So I suspect MOE also have their own DNS also.
Yeah.
Okay, can. MAC address and IP address. You have seen this many times ago. So MAC address is basically address that is hard coded onto the network cards of your devices. So the MAC address by right cannot be changed one. It is a hardware address. Okay, so then your IP address is basically the address that's assigned to your device by your router line in this case. All right. So why are both necessary, right? Okay. So basically, right. Remember when we send things over the different networks, right, or on the internet, right? We use IP address. Okay. But once it gets to your router, right, your router is the one that says, oh, this IP address corresponds with this MAC address. Then I use the MAC address to confirm. Okay, so this information coming into this IP address. Oh, that match. Oh, this IP address matches the MAC address of Mr. Kwang's laptop. Then I send it there. Okay, so both are necessary lah. You cannot have one and not the other. Okay, part C.
I think IP address I bring to mind the other time we discussed about this. Now IP address is necessary, but IP address also have two types. One is the public IP address, which use it for internet, so that you can connect to all the different server and some another host somewhere in the internet. And then there's also the local private IP address, okay, that is being assigned by the router for a local area network. Okay, also just bear in mind that.
Your 192s usually.
Yeah.
Okay, question C, right? I think this is the one that might trip you up. Okay, identify three components in a data packet and what they are for. Okay, so if you look at the answer, there are a lot of things there lah. Okay, but I would say, right, if you have to remember three of them, remember just a few lah. Just remember, okay, you need to store the destination address so that your header, your packet knows where to go. When your packet arrives at a node in your network, right? At because remember we don't send directly, ma. It's always hopping from one network to another network to another to another network to another network, right? So every time it comes to so-called another network, which is a node there, right? Then that node needs to check, hey, where are you going? Oh, you're going there. Okay, you go down this path. So that the destination address is important there. And just now you also mentioned in when you do data packets, right? The sequence is important. If without the sequence, you cannot reassemble it, right? Okay, there are other things like I would say the next thing that's important is not number three. 5 is more important. Payload. Payload is the content.
Be careful. Be careful. Now,
Uh,
the questions ask what can be found in a packet. If they say what can be found in the header of a packet, then payload is not there.
mm,
What can be found in a packet? Payload can be found in a packet. Okay,
mm,
but payload cannot be found in the header.
the header, yeah. Okay. The other things I think is you never really see before, but it's not nothing that is too difficult for you. Okay, like checksum we know lah, because checksum is how we literally the question we talk about it. Ensure that your data packet, the integrity is not affected. Source address, for you to in case you need to send back like confirmation that you have received it as well. Protocol field. Okay, this one here, right, identifies the type of data and how it should be processed. Okay, if you send data, right, you need to also tell the receiving server that, oh, this is HTTP. Oh, this is a text message. There's a SMS protocol as well, etc. etc. This is email, so I need to need to use the IMAP or the SMTP protocol, right? So you need to tell your receiving server, oh, how to deal with this. Okay, so that's what it means. Time to leave, this is the first time I hear about it as well. Okay, so but it makes sense. It makes sense. So basically, if you cannot receive, right, you just ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, bounce around. Then eventually someone has to queue it lah. But this is like basically saying that, oh, if I cannot send within X number of seconds, right, I'll then just queue it.
Okay. Maybe I say a little bit on that. Now, the source address and destination address actually must exist in the header one. Okay. Now, but then because they only say name 3 things, I think one of the reasons is because some students don't know a lot of the things. So just name any 3. But that doesn't mean that the rest are not important. You know, source address and destination address, very interesting. For example, I send to you. My address is a source. Your address is your destination. But when you want to send back to me, return back, you just swap the two. That means the source address now becomes the destination address. The destination address becomes the source address. You will automatically send back to me. So that is how it works, when we send all our message all the way to Google server, whatever, and Google just reverse the source and the destination, it will come all the way back to me. And individual router along the way also the same. They just swap the destination and the source up, reverse it way, it will send back already. So that is how the source address and the destination address play the trick. The other one about time to leave. Now we start to have internet way back in the 1950, 1960. So can you imagine those days, the packet that was being sent out, because they hop, so they hop around the world, they hop around the world, and till today it still exists, And then along the last 10 years, the last 20 years, all those packets that is being lost in the internet is still hopping around. So can you imagine the whole internet? There's a lot of packet that is lost and they're hopping around. In Chinese, we call 孤魂野鬼, Yeah. So
Lost souls.
lost soul, So they're hopping around, they cannot find the destination. Okay. So it cannot you choke up the whole internet one day. You see? So what happened is that it has a lifespan. It has a lifespan. That means up to a certain time, it will kill off. That packet just disappear. So when we say that there's lost packet, it literally means that it is lost in a sense where it die off, it disappear. It didn't hop around and then, of course, you hop around and then it get lost and then eventually it's being killed. Okay, so there's a lifespan. That's a TTL, the time to live.
Okay, can okay, now last part. Last part is the one that I have some issues with, but okay, fine. I queried ChatGPT as well, and then the answer they gave, oh, okay, can. I can deal with it. Okay, so companies exploring ways to improve their systems' resilience and efficiency, especially in areas with weak or unstable internet connectivity. One proposes allow rider devices to share updates with each other using a peer-to-peer model. Explain one advantage and one disadvantage of using a peer-to-peer model. Okay, so the answer they gave was rider can share updates with nearby peers without internet, which is helpful in areas with weak connectivity. Advantage 2 reduces reliance on the central server, potentially decreasing latency. Okay, can. Okay, disadvantage PTP requires devices to be physically near each other for communications. Okay, and security lah. Okay, so this one my understanding of P2P is that okay, so if you think about a typical network, right? Let's say for example you talk about WhatsApp. Okay, so all of us are connected to the WhatsApp server. So by right, when I send a message to your group chat, right, it goes into the WhatsApp server first. WhatsApp main server receive, right? Or then WhatsApp main server look at the data packet. Oh, this is for the J2 computing group. I send there lah. Send there, then you see the message. Everything you send goes through the server. So you think about it, then it's actually quite good because later on when you want to like transfer devices, then you have some data stored on WhatsApp, right? Stored on server. So you can retrieve it. And the server acts as a central source of knowledge and information. This is the most updated source. Okay, but P2P means peer to peer. That's okay. Peer to peer means peers as the name goes, right? It's the same level. So in this case, right, when you talk about same level, it could be your client. Okay, let's say for example, I think I think Signal does that. I'm not very sure. The secret texting app. So when you run Signal, right, you can actually do peer-to-peer connection. That means I don't send. I say I want to message you, right? I don't send to the server and server sends to you. I send directly to you, and you send directly to me. So it doesn't go through the server. Okay, so that's why I was a bit not so happy with the answer because actually to me peer-to-peer also still need network one.
No need,
Still
no,
need
no, 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 no.
yeah.
You see, you're Apple user, right? iPhone, right?
Uh,
Now,
uh,
Apple have this AirTag,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
AirTag.
yeah. I
So
think that's
when
what they
you
meant, but
so when you lost let's say you tie your AirTag to your whatever bag or whatever,
mm,
and then you lost in
uh,
the jungle. And then the thing is that this AirTag will be trying to look around, see whether any iPhone around.
mm,
Okay, this iPhone
it's
have this
pinging, it's
Find
pinging,
Me
yeah.
apps. So what happened is connected by something. Okay, you may imagine something similar to Bluetooth. Okay,
Mm,
some kind of signal that only this AirTag that will send it to your handphone. So it's somebody sell handphone. So let's say if you lose your bag in a jungle, then you're unlucky lah. You have to wait for a long while before someone carry an iPhone and walk around lah. But if you drop your bag inside a city area, so many people got iPhone, no? So what happened that your AirTag signal will send to this iPhone. This iPhone will send it to the
server,
Apple server. And
mm,
then straight away, when you click on the Find Me apps, you will be able to locate your location. So it make use of the neighboring. So there's the peer-to-peer requires some kind of network, but then that kind of network is not the internet network. It can be some kind of long range, short range kind of wireless. Okay, for example, Bluetooth.
mm. Okay, so I asked ChatGPT for this. I said then he said you're asking a very sharp and valid question, and your instincts are correct. Okay, so I think here the main thing about P2P is that okay, so P2P model means devices communicate directly with each other without routing all traffic through a central server. Okay, I'm gonna paste this portion into our chat here. Give me a minute. Where's our chat? Okay, I'm gonna paste everyone. Marsha asked me something. No, don't have. Okay. Okay, so basically, P2P can be used over the internet. Okay, local networks or ad hoc wireless connections like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi direct lah. So P2P does not always require stable connection, stable internet connection lah. Okay, so in this case, right, your devices have to be close enough for your Bluetooth to kick in, no? All right. Other things I want to address for this is,
Can I add one more thing about the
yeah, yeah.
P2P?
Mm,
Long time ago, long time ago, when I was playing around with the computer hardware, I set up my own computer at home. So I want to transfer data between two computers. I don't even need to buy a switch, you know. I don't even, at that time got hub, so I don't even need to buy a switch or hub. I just have one wire, we call it the cross wire. Just connect these two machine, and then I can talk to each other, no. So it's literally peer-to-peer, okay?
Mm.
One machine talking to another machine, and I can transfer data and all kind of thing.
Mm.
Yeah,
I want to ask how many of you know about this thing called BitTorrent?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, so BitTorrent, let me see. Okay, if you know BitTorrent, can you raise your hand? I just want to see how many of you know what BitTorrent is. Will I be able to see in the chat? Okay, yeah, some of you know lah, right? Okay, so BitTorrent, right? Um, let's say if you have some files you want to share with people. Let's say, for example, you film a movie on your own lah, right? You record your own movie, you want to share on the internet, right? Then you put on BitTorrent lah. So BitTorrent basically is like is a peer-to-peer network. Then you share with different people. They are supposed to each client is supposed to seed the file again. So when you download, right, you download from different people at the same time. Okay, so basically they will send to you in different. They let's say for example, let's say 10 of us here all have the same file, right? That but I don't have. Okay, so I say I'll request this file. Then 10 of you have the same file, right? You will just send bits to me lah. Then I combine back lor. So that's to me that's a peer-to-peer network. Last time on the internet, during my time in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? We have this thing called IRC chat, in internet relay chat lah. So there you go in, you talk to random strangers in different chat rooms. So, and then there are a few channels called MP3s. So basically you go in there, you can download music created by different people including proper artists. So there's some piracy involved here, but that's also not good. So basically what happens is that again different chat bots on in the chat group, right? They will have the song archive, right? And then when you request for a song, right, the same thing, different people will send to you. So there's a peer-to-peer connection. Then you just your client on your end, right? You just assemble the bits together again. Okay, so this is my knowledge of P2P. That's why for me, I never thought that I never thought that you know your AirDrop, right? Your AirDrop is also a P2P connection. It doesn't go through iCloud. Yeah. So all these things are okay. So I think this is quite a good question, but I think requires some kind of technical knowledge as well. Ken, I think that's all I have. Anything else that you want to ask that I miss out on? Be it the other school papers that you want to ask on? I'm looking at the chat also. If you want to type chat also can. If not, we can panggang already. No one else,
Sure.
Yes, yeah.
I got a question for like the database, right? For primary key, right? How to tell if it's like a composite key?
How to tell? What mean how to
Oh,
tell?
So like how?
No. You don't turn a primary key to a composite key. You don't do that.
But
Primary
then
key,
like
wait, listen first. Primary
okay,
key, the purpose of primary key is to help you identify a particular record in your table. That's the purpose of primary key. Now, this primary key can be made up of one field. It can make up of 3 fields, 4 fields, depending on how many number of fields, the minimum number of fields that you need to put together to identify the particular record. So in the case where you have one field, you call it primary key. In the case where you have 3 field primary key, you call it composite primary key.
So you find the minimum lah. Yeah, but if you okay, so I think if you go less than the minimum, then you will have cases where your composite primary key is not sufficient to distinguish every record. Okay, so then you need to top up, you need to add more fields in lah. Okay, can you have a case where you have too many fields?
In fact, if you put all the fields together and call your primary key, it
So
will
can
work,
lah,
no?
no wrong.
Because you
Yeah.
can literally identify any row, but it's too many.
Yeah.
Not necessary. You know, like for example, if you want to identify a person in your class, you tell me the age, you tell me which month, where he stay, male or female, you tell me the NIC number, you tell me the handphone, and then you tell me the name. Come on, straight away you tell
Yeah.
me the name will be good enough already, right? No need to
I think
submit so
just
many
now
things.
the NJC, the database, the movie question was something about the insert anomaly, right? I think that one also is there lah. So that means okay, if you set something, you if you think about it, enter a new record, right? Sometimes you okay if okay maybe not the best example, but if you want to have so many things to be the primary key, right? Then you need to make sure you fill it up, like. You cannot leave those things as empty one. Yeah.
The other bad thing about having many fields as a primary key, whenever you insert a new data, it need to sort again. Your whole table need to sort. They call it indexing. It need to sort using the primary key. So if your primary key is a very single field, very short string, then the sorting is very fast. But if you got multiple fields, then they got to sort based on that. Okay, so then that makes inserting data into a table very slow. Okay, so yeah. So back to your question again. Composite primary key is a primary key. Single field primary key is a primary key. You don't convert one primary key to another primary key. Primary key don't convert it among each other.
Okay, okay.
Okay, anything else? Okay, I don't have it. Okay, so later on I'll upload this video on lah. Okay, for I think next week your paper start. So we would this is the last session. Keep on trying your if you haven't finished. I'm sure you guys here you coming in for this session you probably have finished your A level papers already, right? As in the past year papers. So go and try a few more. Uh keep some papers for full paper practice if you want to lah. Maybe let's say let's say you do until 2022, right? Then keep 2021 as a full paper practice. Okay, then it'll be more useful for you as well. Okay, so time management very important. I don't think theory paper you will have issue with time management, but just take note. You just
Yeah.
take 180 take 100 minutes 100 marks divided by 180 minutes. That will give you some guidance of how long to take. So basically 10 marks, 15 marks we should take about 10 minutes worth lah, roughly. About
Time
there,
is
about there.
never an issue for written paper. It's the
Mm.
content. It's your
Yeah.
handwriting. Please, every
Ah.
single part after you answer, leave a blank. Leave a
Give a
spacing
space.
line,
Yeah.
go to the next part. Leave a spacing, go to the next line. Okay? Don't divide your one page into two column. Left column finish, right column, and arrow here, arrow there. Don't do that kind of thing. Be tidy, write neatly, legible. I think it is the contents that you want to get your marks. The other thing is this, I from our observation from the past year student, we have very weak student eventually did well for the theory paper. And what we saw them was literally take a pen and a paper and write down their answer. Write down their answer and check their language, check their expression, whether they explain, describe correctly. Really take pen and paper to write, Those students who read people's answer end up never do well. Especially we have actually grade A potential student. Students supposed to get A grade one, no? Then they get into the habit of reading people's answer. Read, I understand. Read, I understand. Read, I understand. Go to exam, cannot produce the same answer. Okay? Reading is the easiest. You read people's answer, especially. They all make sense and they are all correct. So reading people's answer is the easiest. Wait till you write it yourself. Then your answer will have loophole here and there. They ask you to write one advantage and one disadvantage. You end up only give one advantage, never say about the disadvantage. They ask you to list 3 things, you only write 2 things. If people ask for 3 things, you write 2 things, of course you get 2 marks, even the best, maximum. So things like this, you see, you don't read the question and you don't write it. And only when you start writing, then you practice your handwriting, you practice your expression. Okay? So don't fall into the trap of reading answer. Okay?
Then also feel free to write in not point form, write in bulleted list lah. So I think okay, I can speak for H2 physics, right? H2 physics, your planning question, a lot of students who don't do well, right? They just they write everything like an essay like that. So when they write essay, right, it's very hard for them to trace their own thinking processes to make sure that everything has been accounted for lah. So same for our paper as well. If you don't feel comfortable writing as an essay, right? Because essay the problem is that you will miss out on terms, right? So break it up into points. But point form doesn't mean you write in short form, write in incomplete sentences. Your sentences still have to be complete lah.
Yeah.
Okay. Answer
Can
booklet.
I add in a
Yeah.
little bit? I can
Yeah.
add in a little bit. Now, be very careful with the word eat. It can be done like that. Your eat can mean different
we
thing
should
one.
eat. Sure.
Yeah. So state exactly eat. Is it the switch or is it the router? The router can. Don't say it can be what no cutting. So that's one thing. Recently, I marked the J1 theory paper. I got one student give me headache. Name two use of for example, a particular device. So number one, she write number one, this is the use. Number two, the use. But inside number one, she state down 2 or 3 users. Then inside number two, again she write down 2 or 3 users. End up 1 and 2 add up together 4 or 5 users. When the question only asks for 2. So yes, bulleted 1, 2. But inside one, make sure it's 1. The other one, make sure it's only 1. Rather than within itself, you hide so many things. Try to write a lot within 1 point. Then end up the marker, how to mark? Yeah. So I got big headache marking that. I also don't know where. It's just like dump everything like that inside. Yeah. Mr. Kwai, you continue, please.
Yeah. Answer booklet free one. So leave more space. It's okay. You just if you have to raise hand, then just raise hand and ask for an additional 4-page booklet. Don't be paiseh to squeeze. And also try as much as you can. Don't if you haven't completed one question, right? If you want to leave an extra blank page just because you want to write in for another part of that same question later, please do it lah. So for example, say you have taken 2 pages to do part A, B, and E, F. You left C, D, haven't do. Leave 1 page empty. That's fine. Because if it's empty, right, we will just check it's empty. We'll just strike out for you when we mark it lah. So leave it empty. So at least, right, because I think a lot of you, because right now we are using booklet, so you can't really reassemble the pages to the correct order. So try to keep things neat. Keep the same question together if you can. Okay, it's not a must, but then it makes the life of the examiner easier. Because not the flip, right? Then when we want to add marks, also becomes very complicated. Should we write the marks at the back or should we write the front? All these unnecessary complications are. Okay,
If you left a little bit of space at the end of the page, please
just
don't
keep
use
on
it.
paging, okay.
Start from a new page for your new
Go.
question. Don't save that a little bit at the end. Right halfway, not enough, go to the next page. Kind of thing. We'll still go to the next booklet.
Or you feel that, let's say for example, you answer 1A, right, you use 3 lines, right? You say, but actually, I think I got more. I'm not very sure. Never mind. Leave a few lines there empty. Leave half a page empty. That's fine. Do 1B maybe on the second half of the page. Then later on, you can kind of go and fill in more things for 1A. Okay. So think all these things. Make the examiner's life easier. Make also easier for you to check your work as well before you submit. Okay, so please go and get enough rest. Pace yourself. I think next week onwards it will be your papers will come quite fast. I think first week usually is GP and math, right? Then the sciences will come in. Okay, so go and pace out your own learning and revision. Okay, same thing. Just reminder, stress. Go and talk to someone. Okay, go outside, breathe fresh air. Don't just sit in front of your computer every day. Okay, I think that's all I have for you.
Okay,
so,
exam. A-level exam is going to end sooner than you thought. Okay, the moment it starts, it's almost end already. So this is an experience of a lifetime. I hope you're going to take your A-level once, and then this is your one and only one A-level exam. So enjoy it well. Okay, and then do it well. Cannot, So don't suffer. Don't suffer for it. Okay.
Okay, I'm mute. Say bye bye. Last one for the 2 years already.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Take care, everyone of you. Take care.
Okay, wow, very fast. Okay, okay. Anyway,
You want to stop recording first?
Yeah. Stop share, stop recording. So
Yeah. Yes.
okay. So I was looking at